In this video, I'm going to go over the jobs numbers. We're going to look at the unemployment figures and see that a lot of jobs are being lost permanently. And we're going to look at the employment data to see that a lot of jobs are now part-time as opposed to full-time. Let's dive in. Let's take a look at this report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's the State Employment and Unemployment Summary. It was released on Friday, September 18. They say unemployment rates were lower in August in 41 states, higher in 2 states, and stable in 7 states and the District of Columbia. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. All 50 states and the district had jobless rates increases from a year earlier. The national unemployment rate fell by 1.8 percentage points over the month to 8.4%, but was 4.7 points higher than in August of 2019. Non-farm payroll employment increased in 40 states and was essentially unchanged in 10 states and the District of Columbia in August of 2020. Over the year, non-farm payroll employment decreased in 49 states and the district was essentially unchanged in 1 state. So they're painting a rosy picture. They're showing that in the short term things are getting better from July to August. The issue I really wanted to dive into was the permanent job losers. So here it shows the permanent job losers in July of 2020 was 2.8 million. Now it's 3.4 million, an increase of almost 20%. So the amount of people reporting that they've permanently lost their job has increased by 20% this month from last month. This is not a good sign. Now, if we look at seasonally adjusted from April till today. So in April, we had 2 million people that had permanently lost their job. Now it's 3.4. That's an increase of 70%. So in April, a lot of people who'd lost their jobs, assumed that it was just going to be temporary. A 70% increase later, we're in August. In fact, the period from July to August is the biggest nominal increase. Diving into the employed persons table, we can see that in every industry, we are seeing a contraction from last year. In every industry except government and unpaid family workers. What's troubling about this is government is growing. We have more people employed in government now than we did last year, while the private sector is shrinking. At a time when we're broke, we're expanding government. So this is going to be a problem, especially going forward as the private sector continues to decrease, tax revenues continues to decrease. Just as troubling is the amount of people working part-time. We have 7.5 million people working part-time right now for economic reasons versus 4.3 million last year. That's an increase of 73%. So we're seeing a 73% increase in the amount of people working part-time right now versus last year. We're seeing a 70% increase in just the last month of people who have lost their jobs permanently, and we're seeing the growth of government while the private sector is shrinking. None of this bodes well. Just to clarify, being part-time for economic reasons is different than being part-time for non-economic reasons. The footnote here says it refers to persons who usually work part-time, such as childcare problems, family or personal obligations, school or training, retirement or social security limits on earnings. So these would be folks that would be part-time no matter what, no matter the business conditions. But being part-time for economic reasons refers to those who worked 1 to 34 hours during the reference week for an economic reason such as slack work or unfavorable business conditions, inability to find full-time work, or seasonal declines in demand. So when you look at just that category of unfavorable business conditions, that's where we're seeing the increase of part-time workers.